Okay, so now we're beginning chapter 6, which begins, dun dun dun, division. And today we're going to start lesson 1 with dividing multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000. So we're just moving our place values over. And when we move the place values over, we fill those places with zeros. So the essential question, how does division affect numbers? So our example 1 uses multiplication to sort of do the inverse operation to find the answer. Anita's family went on vacation to an amusement park. The park has 5 entrances. 1,500 people entered the park and separated into equal lines. How many people are in each line? So in order to take this many people and section them into the 5 separate entrances, we need to divide. Divide 1,500 people into 5 equal groups. So what you have here is the actual problem, and they backed up to the basic fact when you remove those zeros. So we have 15 divided by 5, and if you're not clear on that, you can go back and say 5 times what is 15, and then you'll see 5 times 3 is 15. You can count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, and you count it up 3 times. Now, in order to get to 1,500 or 1,500, you just keep adding a 0 for every 0 that is on the problem. So 150 divided by 5 would be 30. 1,500 divided by 5, as shown over here, is going to be 300. So on the line, we're going to write 300. And that's basically what it's showing here. 150 is 10 times as big as 5, so the quotient 30 is 10 times as big as 3. 1,500 is 100 times as big as 15, so the quotient is 100 times as big as 3. So there are 300 people in each line. And here's example 2. The example is find the quotient of 2,404. So this is our problem. We can use our multiplication pattern, and this time I scribbled out the answer so you can see what you're trying to figure out. You've got 24,004, which are the numbers from the equation, and we're drawing it back to the basic fact. And 4 times what is 24? Well, you can count by 4s, which I've just done right here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And since I counted by 4s and I actually got to the exact number 24, I can see that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is what they had in the problem to begin with. 4 times 6 is 24, so that means 24 divided by 4 is 6. And with an added on 0 to the problem, we have 1 on the answer, which leaves 600 as our final answer for the division problem. That was what was presented in the example. So we're just moving that decimal over 1 time for each place value, or we're getting larger. And this is showing pretty much the same thing. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Adding those zeros on to get our actual answer. And using multiplication to check. So what they have you doing in the guided practice here is solving the basic fact right from the beginning. So what you would want to think if you're unclear on this is basically 4 times what gets you 12. And if you're counting by your 4s, you will be able to get that answer. Same thing here. 9 times what will get you to 36. And you can also use your 9s trick in reverse by making 3 10s on one hand and the 6 1s on the other, and whichever finger you've held down, that's the answer. So that's the pattern here. You're just moving the decimal or adding a 0 for each time the place value changes in the equation. Now this is a little bit different. They don't give you the basic fact, so you need to write the basic fact and then adjust for the number of place values up you've moved. For these, in both cases on these, it's 2 place values that have changed. So that may help a little bit. I do want to point out really quickly when you're doing your independent work, number 11 is a little bit tricky because if you're focusing on the digits, you'll see 2 times what is 8 and 5 times what is 35. But when you get to number 11, 5 times what doesn't get you 2. You can't multiply something by 5 and get to 2. So in this case, the basic fact is actually the 20. And it won't let me highlight just those 2. It's just the 20. And so when you're doing 5 times something, you need to get 20, not 2. And that's going to change how many zeros you add on to your basic fact there. I also wanted to point out number 26. This is an awesome one. And I hope we get more like it because it's a good stretch your brain activity, building those synapses. So you've got 6, and you know you're going to have to do 6 times something is going to get you this number over here. And given that we're doing place value, it's pretty safe to assume that that might be a 0. So what you want to think about is what multiple of 6 it has an 8 in the ones place. So when you're writing out your 6, 12, 18, 24, 32, think about which one has an 8 in the ones place and see if that will work in order to get you an answer there. That's a little tip to help you solve number 26. Good luck!